How's
Hey
it going?
everyone, welcome back to Conversations in Pop Culture, and we are back in the saddle once again for another season. And before I introduce my guest, this episode is brought to you by my good friend Preston Poulter's comic Palace of the Golden Princess, which offers a fun, sexy romp through a fantasy RPG setting run by a woman. Issue 3 launches soon on Kickstarter. Link is down below. And if you actually go to my friend Preston's website, pocketjackcomics.com, and sign up for their email and his email, he will happily send you a free copy in PDF form of one of his projects that he's worked on. But enough about that, because I have with me model and brand ambassador Sasha Nakamoto. So welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh my God, I am so excited. This is a blast for me. I am stoked beyond stoked. And there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about with you. But I think the best place to start is with who you are. And because some people might know you, some people might not know you. So who is Sasha Nakamoto for people hearing about you for the first time?
So, I am a cam girl from the anime world, streaming to you live through a secret portal that lets me reach you, fine ladies and gentlemen. Um, I am represented. I'm on mash mouthed. I'm nervous. This is my first interview. Okay. So I'm able to reach you guys from the anime world with the help from my friends at hentai.com. I am their spokesperson. I'm their what do you call me? A mascot, I guess. I'm their little mascot. That's me.
Yeah, so let's actually talk about that, and let's talk about hentai.com, because obviously you are their spokeswoman, their spokesperson, obviously their mascot as well. You're an intricate part of their website. And how did you get involved with them? Because you're the first thing, or one of the first things you see when you get on their website.
Okay, so this guy you used to work with forever ago. He was just like feeling out some new stuff, beginning of COVID, everyone's getting restless, trying to look for new projects. And um, he ends up just buying the domain hentai.com. And just cuz. He's like, I don't know what this is. I'm gonna do something with it. It's gonna be cool. And he knew that I was Cam, and he kind of reached out to me with this crazy idea of like he wanted to have this, hub for hentai where everyone could talk hentai, watch it, read it, play hentai games on there. And he wanted the main focus to be hentai cam girls that you can talk to and flirt with and romance and do your RPG IRL. And yeah, and he knew that I was camming already for years, and he knew I had the energy, he knew I had the hype for it. So he asked me if I wanted to help launch this crazy project, and I said, absolutely, let's do it. So, yeah, so it was about 2 years of development of me coming over and doing all these crazy animations so they could do all the testing and building all this crazy stuff to make it possible for us to hang out like we are today. And yeah, we launched back in February, and it's been so fun. Yeah. So that's how it kind of got started.
Yeah, let's even talk a little bit about that too, because obviously it's a place where you stream sometimes and you are very interactive. There's also stuff of pictures of you there. There's a lot of video stuff there as well. And what is even that like for you to really be at the start of this and be, I guess, an intricate part of this and a gear that moves a lot of things? And, you know, it's really cool, and it's a hub for people to see what you were just describing, because it is really cool and there's a need for this, I feel. And it's kind of nice to have, I guess, a home to be at, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, you mean with
The website.
or with hentai?
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Sorry, to which website were you referring to?
I was talking about hentai.com and how it's
Yeah.
really your home where you get to stream and that you get to interact, and there's a platform that allows you to do that, because a few months ago that didn't exist. And so what is that like to really, get that opportunity to be there and have a place and have, a brand to build, I guess.
I mean, it's overwhelming. It's I won't lie, it's crazy pressure because honestly, it's only the very beginning of everything. As much as I'm the hub of this little space that we're starting to get together now, there's plans to make this huge. And I mean like well, for instance, we've already drafted the first chapter of my manga, which we hope to turn into an anime very soon. We're gonna have backing from really big companies. We're already in talks. I can't talk too much about it, NDAs and stuff, but they're big guys and they want to see us live out all of our crazy dreams. And it's going to involve like actual like season length anime. It's going to involve like a AAA hentai game. Like it's and yeah and I'm going to be the main character, the MC of it all. So yeah, as exciting as it is to have this home and have this space curated, around me and to be nested in it, um, you know, it's like um, it's like I'm in my house and when you start Pokemon, I'm in my little house at home, but like I got a whole adventure ahead of me. I'm gonna be the very best.
So let's actually talk a little bit about the manga. And I know there's also a game that is your game, Hoko's Puzzle, I think it is. And if I got the name wrong, feel free to correct me at any given point. Um,
It's
but
Hoku.
I stand corrected, everybody. But at least I stand corrected by somebody who's extremely cute. Um, but what is this like to actually have products that surround you and that represent you and that represent your brand and obviously represent hentai.com, because it is very cool at this point when you have things like that and that things are being developed with you as the forefront and the center. And I know you can't go into certain things, but what is that like? Because it's nice to be the star, because this is sort of like, I feel a star is being created and born in a lot of ways, and this is the infancy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, um it's a little overwhelming at times, but it's just so exciting. Like I don't know, like I've been, a part of the cam world for years. I've always been like a small, background character in it, just putting in my hours doing my dues, but um to yeah, just suddenly have just all this recognition, to have even strokers with my face on it, like it feels like it feels like I'm touching stardom, and it's I don't know, it feels unreal sometimes. Um, like I don't know, like I'm gonna wake up and like no, I don't get to go to work as a cartoon character every day. That's not real. That's a made up thing. But yeah, I don't know. As nervous and as anxious as it makes me, I think I'm twice as excited.
So to even go into this too a little bit and go further into this, I mean, it's really interesting because I also think that you're paving a path in a lot of ways on hentai.com, because I don't think you're the only one. I think there's going to be others that follow soon. And so what is that like too? Because you're sort of testing the market, I feel, and that you're really setting the trend in a lot of ways too, where you're the first one, because I don't know any other character that has done this or any other cam girl that has done this before. And that's what's so interesting, is that you're the poster child and you're the trendsetter in a lot of ways. And so what is that like too? Because you're setting the path and people are going to want to copy what you have done and achieve the success that you have gotten.
Well, first, I'll tell you, I'm not exactly the first, but I am absolutely groundbreaking. There have been definitely predecessors before me. Namely, they marketed themselves as AI cam girls, when really it was a motion capture. It's similar to what I'm doing. In fact, a big kind of source of inspiration. It's a Project Melody. She's on Chatterbait, but she's definitely limited in what she's able to do. She can move around, she can talk. Oh, hold on, I lost my hand. Really, just
Oh no.
so awkward. Hate that. Hold on, that's not how my hand goes. And we're back. Okay. It's casual. This happens all the time in the anime world. Um anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so yeah, Mel, she's been around for years. She's amazing. She's got a huge fan base. But yeah, definitely limited in what she can do. In the sense, and that's where I kind of break ground. Is she's not really able to use toys and perform live. That's one big thing that sets us apart. Where I can use toys and still talk to you and move and interact, and you know it's happening live. It's nothing pre-recorded, and to avoid getting too graphic, you know, it looks more realistic than anything she could try. You know what I mean? So yeah, I will say, yeah, I'm definitely not the first, but I'm the first to be doing it at the capacity and the way that I am, that we are here with hentai.
Do
But
you also feel that you're also, because you have a lot of backing from hentai.com, and
mm,
obviously you stated that you have a manga and you have a lot of support, which I also think helps tremendously, because when you have backing and you have people that believe in what you're doing and they want to create products, that only adds fuel into the engine that propels you. And that's how why I think this is so interesting, because when you're getting things such as a manga and you have a game and you have your face on certain things, and then you're the mascot of hentai.com, now you're getting known, and it really pushes you forward. And that's what's so interesting too, is that it's not just the groundbreaking, what extremely interactive, it's everything else where there's an actual bunch of products that are associated with you. And that's what's so cool about this.
I mean, isn't that most anime characters, most cartoon characters? They get all these little things. They get little figurines. They get products. They get,
You're lucky. You're lucky if you get that stuff. You're lucky if you get that stuff. Yeah, like One Piece is a good example of this, where you are lucky if you get a Pop Funko in One Piece. You're lucky if you get an
Mhm.
action figure. And that's what's so cool about this, is that I'm just waiting for the action figure to come.
Oh my gosh. I'll tell you, I have a manga shop I go into, and there's this skateboard on the wall, and it's Hatsune Miku, all barely covered, and I just see it every time, and I'm like, that's gonna be me. That's gonna be me barely covered. I love it. Sakura Miku. Oh, she's so cute. Oh my god, we could be sisters.
I know it totally. I would love it. Just maybe I'll commission that. You next to her. Oh, it'd be great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think was it Faku has skateboards like that. Oh my god, if they could just see me, pick me up, please. I'm ready.
And so it's just so interesting in this whole thing. And obviously, there's a lot of stuff, and I know a bunch of stuff about you, and I know a bunch of stuff. I don't know a bunch of stuff, and I actually should go and explore hentai.com a little bit more now. Because I was not aware that you have a manga, oddly enough. Now I really want
I
to read it. I'm
I
so
don't know
excited.
if it's released yet. It's all still in development, but it's happening. I read it. I think it's really cool. I think there's some tweaks. I feel like there's some direction that we could push in there a little bit. But yeah. And I'll tell you the Hoku game, that is really just, yeah, like I said, it's a fun little test where you get to, read these dojins, put together little puzzle pieces and read those. That's so cool. I love that. I like that game. But yeah, that is just the tip of the iceberg of our long-term plans over at Hentai. Like I said, we're thinking triple A.
And so, what is that like, that people can utilize your brand? Obviously, they can buy products with your face on it and you on it, as well as the mangas coming, potentially a bunch of other things. Hopefully, an action figure at some point, because that's what I want. Maybe a skateboard. Hopefully, too, would be dope. But what is that like, knowing that there is a bunch of stuff coming in physical products, digital products? People could play your game. People are going to be able to read you. If an anime occurs, obviously people are going to have season long positions of you, and really just all of that, because that's what's super cool, is that this is going beyond just hentai.com now. and it's going beyond what we're going to dive into, which is Cam Girl and Streamate in a second here, because it's becoming bigger. It's becoming a brand. And what is that like? Because it's so cool. I'm so jealous.
It's, I don't know. I guess it's I don't know. I don't want to get too weird with it, but like it's
You could fangirl. You could fangirl on yourself. That's okay.
I'm touching immortality. I'm ready for it. It's just so cool to know that. I mean, I mean, in the adult industry, like I feel like all of us, to some extent, feel like there's, some kind of clock running on it. Whether it's because you get other, get different work, whether you want to get yourself back in education, whether you feel you're just too old for the game, whatever. Um, and for me, I felt more like I was losing direction and motivation. So to have all of this dumped in my lap, honestly, just because someone saw my talents and just saw the way that I can connect with an audience, and just to have that recognized, it just, I don't know, it just breathes so much life into me. I'm seeing another 5, 10 plus years, who knows, maybe I'm gonna be an old lady doing reboots for my hentai anime, and I'm just like, oh yes, just like that, a little harder, I'm ready for it.
So many things I could
Sorry,
say.
I'm terrible.
My audience is going to be broken at the end of this. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be wonderful. I love it. I love it. I knew what I was getting into. I don't know if they knew what they were getting into. But I don't want to push too much further into hentai.com, because I know a lot of stuff is coming with you. I know that there's other things as well. And obviously, you're not the only game on that site. You're not the only thing on that site. There's a bunch of other stuff out there. And so obviously, when people come, they can get exposure to you and a variety of other things. And there's something for everybody on there. If you're really into anime and you're into hentai and everything, I think is a safe assumption. But unless I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, I'll take the L. But I do want to talk about the other side of this, which is Streamate, because I know that you're heavily on there, and I kind of discovered you there, where I was just browsing through Streamate, and I see this anime thing, and I'm like, what is that? And so, how did you get involved on there? Because I think you're the only one cam girl like you on there in the anime niche, and super, super alone in that regard, and no competition, I believe.
First of all, did you ask your mother permission to be on that website, sir? Secondly,
I will plead the fifth. I will plead the fifth. Plead the fifth. And I will not answer. And Nick Cannon, you get that win. Because this is not wilding out. Anytime soon.
Okay, so yeah, so to be the only one being on there, I mean, honestly, before we even launched, we actually had to ask permission. I had to interview with some people at the website, which is not typical. You just sign up, show your ID. Yeah, I'm of age. Put me out there, coach. But for me, I had to be like, I can keep up with the other kids. Please let me in. And yeah, I had to do this whole audition. Um, and um, and at first it was overwhelming. I was getting chat room sizes like 4, 5 times the size of anything I've ever seen. 100 people staring at me in a site where normally it's like 10 to 20 people on a busy day. So I was swamped. I was nervous. It was crazy. And the responses were everything from "this is the coolest thing ever" to "what in the actual fuck am I looking at right now?" And it was, yeah, it was insane.
So there's a lot I want to talk about with that.
Yeah.
I'm so interested now. So what was that like, that you had to do an interview and then they allowed you on? Because I'm going to say this the nicest way I could say: you are the outlier by definition of every other model on that site at the moment.
No, I'm a
And
freak.
I was being polite. I was going to be polite. I'm very fond of you. That's how I was being polite about this. But what it was that like that you had an interview and then they're like, we're thinking about it, and then they say, yeah, go right ahead and play. And we want you on our site and we want you to be part of this because that must be a really cool feeling that you're an equal in a lot of ways, I would imagine. And that it's not that you can compete with the other kids, it's that you are one of the other kids and you are one of the group.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. Well,
Because
hold on. Sorry. Sometimes my connection to your realm gets a little fuzzy. I just gotta stand up and wiggle around a little bit, and it usually straightens itself out. It's casual. This is just a part of life. Okay. Just how it is in the anime world. I'm sorry. What was your question? I got very distracted.
Oh, no. Obviously, Streamate and other campsites that are associated with them, it's their house and they have the right to allow anybody they want on there. And you're the outlier. And so, what was it like, obviously, interviewing with them and
Oh,
then letting you play? Because
okay.
it's kind of a cool thing, right? When they're like,
Mhm.
you're one of the group and you're allowed to play here and you're allowed to be part of this because they don't have to allow you in by definition.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so I mean, I had already had like a really long-standing relationship with them. I had an account active with them for 6 years. So it wasn't too much of a stretch. I'm just like, just let me in with a different face. It's fine. So their real concern was just making sure that I was, compliant with all the Visa, MasterCard. There's so many little policies and sub policies that go into running an adult site, having that credit card processing. So yeah, I was just making sure that I'm, what is it called? Know your customer compliant. Um, and yeah, that was really honestly the gist of the call was, okay, can you comply with these, standards? In fact, when I stream, I have to have my I call her my meat suit, my voice actress. She lives in the little corner of my screen down here when I stream. That's part of the on is they have to always be able to see a real human face over here, which I think is racist, but I digress.
And,
Anyway.
and And then the other thing you mentioned that is also interesting is that so you come on and then you have 4 or 5 times the audience. So what was that like handling the audience and addressing that and having that much traffic? And then how was that even received by the community? Because, obviously there's the customer base, which is different than the, I guess, other models community. And so what was that like handling that? Because I don't know if there was animosity or because as a customer, I would imagine people are like, this is really weird. And certain people are like, what's this? And then obviously there's the other models and there's a whole other community of models and other people and other cam girls on that site.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm online. It's fantastic. I'm having fun. It's if I was a fisherman, the fish were jumping out of the water into my boat and loading the boat down and I'm like, "Holy crap, how do I get to shore?" And oh, forgot I can't move like that. Oh, where am I going? Hold on. I have a button for this. I do this a lot. Oh, alley-oop. Ah, it's a system. But yeah, so I be online. I'm having a blast. I mean, sure, the more trolls than normal, but nothing I can't handle. I eat trolls for breakfast. But then I get offline and I've got messages of support from models I've never met going, this is the coolest thing ever. How do I do this? And all the way to just people get so mean sometimes. Oh my gosh. People were saying I was a plant by Streamate, that they were giving me all this funnel traffic, but like, no, I'm just the weirdest thumbnail on the website. People just want to see what it is for 2 minutes. And then I'm entertaining, so they end up sticking around for 20 minutes by accident because I'm hilarious and charming. And um yeah, and so it was definitely an exercise in growing up, seeing all that negativity all over my feed, and oh gosh, and even girls who had the best intentions running to me like, "Did you see here's some screenshots of some stuff that is just gonna make you so sad." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, why can't everyone just be nice to me?" Because I mean, in reality, Streamate threw me out there just to see if I would stick to the wall. They were like, "All right, let's give you a shot, kid." There was no guarantee I wasn't gonna sink to the very back page of the site and not see anyone come into my chat room. There's no assurances, no guarantees. You know, so to have all these crazy accusations that I'm a plant, or that I've got all of these, props that everyone else doesn't have. You want to know what really just like drove me, the number one thing that I read that drove me nuts. I kept getting accused of streaming in pajamas. And I don't know why that got under my skin so bad, but I definitely don't. I have a whole uniform. It's leggings and a whole fancy tight shirt. It's not pajamas. Put it on the record.
It's a very cute shirt, I must say.
Oh, thank you. Oh, but yeah, like I said, it's hard to clap. But yeah, and exercise and growing up, yeah. So it was really hard to see all that negativity, and not just be a big nya brat about it, because I could be. So yeah, and just be like, okay, I understand why you're upset. It's because you don't understand. Like, and so I made a master post. It's just like, hey, no blame here. I understand like where you're coming from, but like, let me just dispel some myths here. And yeah, by just refusing to feed into or respond to any of that negativity, I ended up finding some really amazing people in the community who still regularly reach out to me, touch base. They want to check in with the project. They want to be a part of the project. And as crazy and scary as it was at first, it's grown into something beautiful. Like I've really become more of a part of the community than I really ever was before, and it's fun. It's cool.
Well, I'm just gonna say it where people hate successful people and they want to tear them down, and I think that that's partially what it was. And I have no problem saying it because you coming out the Streamate was providing another element. It was providing another option. It was filling that anime niche up. And I'm a big anime guy and I love it. I'm really big into these cards called Leaf Metal Anime Nation cards. And they're killing it right now where they take these sports characters and these sports players and they animify them, for lack of a better word, and they're killing them. And like Otani, who's the best player in baseball, they just
No
sold
way.
it just sold 2,700 of his card, and I made a good little fortune on it. And it's one of those things where I just think that you're filling that niche and that people want this, and I think it's amazing. And I think what is that like for you? Because before there was cosplay on Streamate, but now there's an anime character on Streamate now, and you're that filler, for lack of a better word. You're that option is a good way to put it. And so what is that like? Because that's what I think people hate, because they just didn't think of it. They just didn't do it. They just didn't embrace it. They're not representing. And that's what I think is so interesting.
You know, yeah, it's definitely I guess I have a couple things to say about it. I hope I don't lose both my points. I mentioned before we started the show, I have an attention problem. But so yeah, with having this niche, I guess yeah, that was one thing that was definitely I got a lot of resentment for, was that I created my own niche and then filled it in a way that no one else on the site can right now. But the customers, the users I'm interacting with, they've been on the site forever, and I've never been an interest to them. So if anything, I just think of myself as, one other thing that you can try at the Streamate Cafe, but in creating this niche, I've created an absurd demand, where I'm struggling to keep up with it. I'm doing, 3-4 hour streams, and I'm logging off, and I'm still having messages like, please come back on. And I'm like, I have to go to sleep. Like, I have things to do. But, um, that has just really shown, that, the internet is ready for the next step of the plan, which is to release more of us.
It's funny you mentioned that. I have a friend named Pat Shand, and he is a comic writer, and he did a not safe for work book comic called Steamy and Cheeky. And Steamy did 100,000 plus on Kickstarter, and it just was out of nowhere. And people want that content, and they're starved for it. And I think that's what you are on Streamate in a lot of ways, is that people are starved for this content and they want it, and when you come on, you're fulfilling a want, a need, and a desire for that because they're not getting it and they've wanted it for a while. And I think it's very important to acknowledge when a niche is being filled that has been wanted for years and now it's finally here. I think that's what's so interesting, is that you're really, I don't necessarily think you created the demand, but you filled it. And that's a service. And I think it's super important.
Was there a question?
Oh no, I was just giving you a compliment.
You just fluffing me. All right, all right.
Well, I was just giving you a compliment. That's all.
Thank you. But yeah, thank you. Well, I mean, definitely, I created demand within Streamate for this kind of content, but you're totally right. I mean, you look around and it's like really hard to find, not only like, quality, hentai that you can, you want to go back to, that you want to find again. Even more so when you're looking at 3D, toon stuff, you end up getting these like short little loops, and you get like 3 positions, and you're like, I don't know who these people are. And so, yeah, it's quality, and it's, someone that you can connect with, like you do with amateur content. It's not just watching someone do a thing. It's, having a relationship with somebody, someone who can ask you how your day is going, and oh my god, how's that thing with your grandma going, and and then I get to show you sexy things, and then there's this whole other level of connection that you just don't get, um when you're just looking for just straight up hentai or toon stuff. Um, but yeah, no, I think you're totally right. The market is starved. They're hungry for some quality content, and I'm so ready to provide that.
And to even go further, I also think you provide a fun experience and a different experience as well. And obviously, you could change your eye colors. You could put on cat ears. You could do some other things in there. There's some other features. I don't know what I can and can't say without getting into too much trouble here, but you can make things bigger or smaller. To put it, I'm being I'm being as
We're trying to get in trouble with the YouTube police here.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
So we're trying not to get in trouble with the YouTube police here.
Let's just say that you can the alphabet is your friend, is a good way how to put it.
I've got a big personality.
Yes, we can go with that. We can go with that. In more than one way, on the top and the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But what is that like? Because it also provides so many more options, where if somebody wants something very specific, you can deliver on that, and it just provides so many more options and so many more abilities and so many more shows and so many more. I don't even know what to say, but everything's on the table is a good way to put it.
Yes and no. This is actually a hilarious point to bring up, because yeah, I cannot tell you how amazing it is when someone's, engaging in a show with me and they just guess something. They're like, can you make your feet huge? And I'm like, yes, I can. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, let's make them big. Or they're like, futanari, do you know what that is? And I'm like, come to me, child. You know, and so like yeah, so to be able to do that is just yeah, just to blow their minds that I'm just ready to go like that. But you know, I'm working within Unreal Engine. It's a video game engine. So everything that I can do has to be programmed ahead of time. And you know, it is I get the most interesting requests sometimes, and it's when I'm streaming. And so I actually have this notepad over here with a pen, and I use it often, you know, to note any bugs I run into, you know, glitches, what have you. But I also, especially in the first couple months, just any crazy request I couldn't fulfill, I would jot down for the devs, and the absolute lewd gibberish I would leave for these men. Like it is. Could I read some for you? I have the notebook here. I would.
You're more than welcome to.
All right. I apologize for it being invisible. Okay. All right, let's go back to the first couple months. That's when the good stuff was. Okay. Oh, the handwriting's good. Okay, where are we? Okay. Alrighty, let's see. No, not that. Not that. Where's the funny stuff? Here.
It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good.
All right.
The audience, I'm just gonna let my audience know that brace yourselves.
Yes. Titty constraints against the dildo. Yes, please. Thank you so much. Let's see. Cum shot out of the handheld dildo, maybe? Head died. No explanation. Oh, this is my favorite. Tits grow bigger and bigger while you ride my huge C word. I love the creativity here. Lactation milk boob. Bikini foot cam. Sunglasses. Heart eyes permanent. So yeah, it just goes on like this, you know, lactation question mark. Yeah, let's see. Bigger nipples when cock's bigger. Why? I get and I have to be positive. This is not a kink shaming space. So I get they just type this gibberish to me and I go, "You know what? I'm gonna write that one down. That seems like a great idea, Johnny2384. I'm gonna let him know." And then I have to face them the next day and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, can you do it? And usually the answer is no. And it's always things that you wouldn't think would be hard are so hard. And the things you think would be way too hard, they're like, "Oh no, I can add that for you today."
But I mean, it's so interesting though because it does provide options, and there's things that I mean, I'm sure somebody threw something out, and it's simple. It just wasn't in your program, and it wasn't in beta, and somebody's like, yeah, that's a great idea, and it could just be something like adding cat ears in or adding a cute little hat. I mean, obviously tomorrow's the 4th of July. I don't know if you have the option to potentially have a sparkler, right? But that would have to be programmed in, and obviously, I mean something like that, where first thing you could have a I don't know, you're doing something.
That's a good one, Andrew. I'm writing that one down.
But like
Sparkler.
just something like a quick little prop, thing that's nice, or like having like a St. Patrick's Day hat or something, like something like that, like or a birthday cake, right? So
Yeah.
because
Like this is my Easter outfit. Oh, that was loud.
yes, exactly. But like, I'm sure somebody's like, "Hey, do you have bunny ears?" Right? And you're like, "I don't have bunny ears," but that's easy enough to do, right?
Oh shit, that is so loud.
Oh, I love it. This is so great. Or like the eyes, and your eyes go succubus mode. Oh, it's great.
Oh my gosh. You want me to? Oh, I don't think I can unleash succubus mode right now because I think it'll show my patas. See, everything's got to be thought ahead. It's got to be programmed ahead. Man.
But it really does provide an amazing experience. I feel where there's a lot of stuff that can be done here that can't be done elsewhere. And it's really amazing. It really is, and that's what's so much fun. And obviously, I've seen a few of your shows, and they're really really cool when you do it. And for those who don't know, one of the things that I like is that you have a mirror back in your room, and when you go to your mirror, sometimes your face is reflected.
Yee.
So it's so cool. It's such a cool concept, and I love it in so many ways. And obviously, pretty much, I think anything can be done here now in this.
You do anything to what? Huh?
Oh, I think anything can be done. I think anything can be done, and I think you're just
Oh my god.
breaking potential on what can be done because I don't think there's any limit as long as somebody can program it.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, honestly, that's probably the most fun part is like when we're like, okay, let's think outside the box. And then we just start getting absurd as we're just like wrapping things and I'm just like, all right, she's suspended. She's in the middle of a black void. She's tied up. Tentacles come in. And they're like, I don't that's not. I'm like, okay. So she's in a dungeon when the tentacles come in and they're like that is not the problem. Yeah, no, and honestly, like I mentioned, we've got plans to, roll out more characters. One of them in the very near future, our game plan is in 5 years to have 50 unique characters rolled out. Um, yeah, and yeah, right now I'm actually working really closely with the next anime cam girl. Um, and we're just trying to prep. We're trying to give her, a lot of unique quirks. Like her cam space is going to be so different. Everyone's going to have a unique space to stream from, and yeah, yeah, but
Uh,
like as she and I are, sitting down to, get these things figured out. It's a lot of like, okay, not just the normal stuff you've been doing on camming. Like, let's get weird. And so, yeah, suddenly we're talking about these gigantic toys that no human being should ever buy to put inside of their body. Or, just like having fuck machines floating in midair because why not? Physics don't have to matter. It's just about having fun and making something cool.
Oh man, there's so many things I could say about that. There's so many things I could say about that. All I know is that you're paving the path forward. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing in so many ways. And I mean, I love it. I love it. I'm into AI. I'm into the metaverse. I'm into crypto. I'm into this whole space, and I absolutely love it. I love everything about this, and I love the blending of every single world. And one of my favorite books of all time is Ready Player One, and this is like right out of that. This is right out of that. And I love it. I love everything about this. I really do. Um, but I do want to slightly back out of this, and I do want to talk a little bit about, I guess the fusion between what you're doing on Streamate and hentai.com because you're the mascot ambassador spokesperson for hentai.com, and then you're on Streamate, and it's a very interesting symbiotic relationship because people know you from hentai.com and they could somewhat interact with you there, and then they could also do a show with you on Streamate, both either in a gold show, in a private, in an exclusive, and it's cool because it hits two different audiences. The audiences overlap, but it just grows you as a brand. And what is that like? Because it's a cool thing where it's kind of, and obviously I sent you some questions and I'm going to use it again, is that it's one hand washes the other and then both hands wash the face. And so it's a very cool thing because it works so well.
Honestly, more so than you even know. Oh my gosh. If they didn't have me sign this NDA, I'd be throwing up secrets right now. Um, I'm terrible. I'm feral. Don't tell me secrets. Um, but um, yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not sure that we're live streaming to hentai.com just yet, but as we grow our presence on Streamate, we're picking up more steam just across the internet, like we're doing interviews and cool stuff. You know, yeah, we're going to be migrating over, well, not migrating per se, but definitely available on hentai.com. Um, very soon, especially as we roll out more characters. It's going to be a great hub to get in touch with all the cute little anime cuties that we're going to be training and whipping into shape and rolling out.
And I'm not going to push too much onto that, but obviously, I mean, this just grows your social media, and it's just a great, opportunity, and it is a nice booster, is a good way to put it. And I'm purposely not pushing too far because I don't want you to get in any trouble. I don't want you to break
Thank you.
any NDAs. I have a few myself, so I get it. But it's really just cool in that regard. And obviously, you got a bunch of stuff coming. You mentioned some of it already. And again, I'm not going to push too far into you on that stuff because I don't want to get you in trouble. And I don't want to get you in any trouble you don't want to get into, is what I should say. Um,
Are you flirting with me? Hi.
I will also plead the fifth. I will also plead the fifth on that one. I will politely plead the fifth on that one. But I'm sorry, what were we saying?
Oh, no, you go ahead, please.
But I do want to do speed round with you. Because I think it'll be fun.
Let's do it.
So, what do you think of Hatsumiku? Sakura Hatsumiku.
Okay. She's very cute, but can I be totally honest with you right now? Okay. I was a huge weeb in high school, like big time. Like I devoured my local library's manga section like it was gone. It's in my brain now forever. Then I experienced a little bit of bullying. So I'm like, okay, so manga isn't cool, anime's not cool. I want to be cool, so I don't do that weeb stuff anymore. That's embarrassing. Otaku who? That's lame. Um, but yeah, that was like what, like over 10 years ago. So I had to stuff that part of myself down. And then after I was reached out to for the hentai project, it was like, no, we need a weeb for this. And I'm like, I can dust off my books. I'm ready. So I'm gonna be so honest. All of my hentai or all of my anime lore is like old school, like 2012 and back. Like I am just now. I'm literally. I've been such
I
a
go
huge.
way old school. I go back to the 60s.
Oh, okay. Dang.
I'm a Tezuka guy. So I go back to like 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, 1960s. Big Astro Boy, Blackjack, Kimba the White Lion. Like I'm old school. I'm like an
Okay,
OG.
I know Kimba. Okay, Kimba's chill. Yeah, now I'm a Toonami girl.
I'm that
DBZ
too.
all the
I'm that too.
way. Yeah.
I'm a tsunami boy. I should say that. I'm not a girl. I just want to make that crystal
You can
clear.
be whoever you want to be in this life. Embrace it. But yeah, so I am internet literate enough to see Hatsune Miku and be like, I know her name. But I am a poser. I'm sorry. I'm
It's
making it
okay.
real.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm anime for life. I got made fun of in high school and in elementary school and middle school, and I didn't care. I had a great high school experience because I didn't care. Actually, it was pretty bad. It was in the middle technically. But I just wore
Some
what I
of us are
wanted.
strong. Some of us are little bitches who cave to peer pressure, and that's fine. We're all different.
Oh, it's okay. I just was like, I'm gonna wear an anime shirt. I'm like, great, this is awesome, and I just did it. And I had good friends, and we didn't care. We didn't care because I was there to learn, and I learned well. And now I
Awesome.
have a business that's centered around pop culture, and it's great. So and look at you. I mean, you're killing it right now.
Our bullies can fucking kiss our dust, something like that.
Yeah, I agree. They can kiss
Mhm.
my ass, but I prefer if they didn't. Um,
Just
but
once, just to see if they like it.
It's just terrible. It's so terrible. So moving on to the next question, and favorite anime of all time. And I know you're old school, so it's all right because some of this new school stuff is okay.
Okay, favorite anime of all time. Who? Avatar, I'm lying. I'm kidding. Just kidding. I'm fucking with you. I'll tell
That's a
you.
good answer though. That would be a good answer.
No. Oh my god. No, I'm not that
I
embarrassing.
love
It
I
is
love Jesse
barely.
Flowers. I
And
love Jesse Flowers. She's been on my show twice. I love
no,
her.
don't get me wrong. I absolutely love I love Avatar. I love Korra. I'm about it. But like to be like, what's your favorite anime? And then throw that out, like, no.
If you want to talk about Korra, we let me ask you this question first, and then I'll let you answer. So, what season of Korra was the best? Because this is going to determine our friendship.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
There's only one right answer. I mean,
It's hard. Okay, it's been like 2 years since I last did my rewatch through, and I'm trying to differentiate them in my mind. Like, first one, she's starting, second one, she's all like fucking like her like getting back in her game, and like third one, uh, the uh second
you
second
thought the second was good? I thought the third was the best. Was it here?
Yeah, Zahir. Okay, no, that's really good. What was the second season?
That
What
was
was
like the
it?
one with like Avatar one, and then like the water polo guy who was like her uncle was
Oh,
like,
yeah, no, definitely season 2. What? Definitely. Okay, no, I'm about season 2. Yes, absolutely.
ah. I enjoyed the whole thing, but I season two was rough, and season four, I just think they stopped caring in season four. Season three to me was amazing. Um, but it's fine. You get one mess up.
Oh, shit, okay. Noted. Put that in my notebook. Just for reminders. But, favorite anime, honestly, definitely tough. You know what I thought was gonna be my favorite anime, and I recently finished it, and I'm like, "What? There's so much potential." Sword Art. I recently just start to finish earlier this year, and like I thought, like I'm like, This is epic. This is amazing." And then the way it ended, I'm like, "What?"
You mean Sao, right?
Yeah, Sao, yeah, and yeah, so definitely I thought it was gonna be my favorite. You know, it's my actual favorite. Like, had me doing all-nighters till 6 in the morning because I needed to see the next episode, and then when I watched the finale, I sobbed like a child. Fruits Basket.
I I've seen parts of it. I actually have never seen the whole thing of Fruits Basket. It's I
It's
don't know.
so good. Listen, okay, I am a sucker for romance, and, like, it's my exact favorite trope. Like, I'm reading so much manga now, and all of it's my favorite trope, and it's just a sweet girl with a heart of gold, and she's talking to a boy who is a little bit mean for no reason, and she softens his heart over time. I die for that trope. I will read that trope until 6 in the morning, okay? I For breakfast. Yes. So, yeah, I mean, I've been watching like Demon Slayer, it's pretty freaking sick. Chainsaw Man, epic, but like to have a piece of media evoke the emotions in me that Fruits Basket evoked in me to just stay with me. I'll tell you, boy, I finished that shit and I was sighing for like 3 days. I would just remember it happened and just restless. What media's done that to you recently?
What media has done that to me recently? Only yesterday did that, and I sing for yesterday did that for me too. So only yesterday is it's a Studio Ghibli film, and that made me feel, oh man, this was
Oh,
good. Basically, a girl, for those who don't know, grew up in the city, and then she returns home, and then she sort of meets a childhood friend she hasn't seen in a while, and then she kind of sort of starts a romance between the two of them, and she decides to stay in the countryside. Great, great, great. I think it was a guy from Slumdog Millionaires was one of the voices, and then who plays Ray? Daisy Riddle, I want to say from Star Wars, is the other
Oh
voice.
no shit.
So really good cast. Starts off a little slow, but once you get past the first 15, 20 minutes, it's like so good. And then I think I Sing for Yesterday, I think it is, was a romance, and it was like 12 episodes, and that was great. That was just great. Because it was about balancing, a guy has two options and figuring out which option he wants to go with in those 12 episodes, and then he makes the right choice at the end, and you're like, oh my god, yes. It's just so wholesome. It's just so wholesome. But I was just like, is he gonna make the right choice?
Ooh, I'm gonna check this out. Looks like you're a sucker for the soft crop like me too.
but I mean, the one that the so I just watched A Galaxy Next Door. That was good. I enjoyed that. And I thought that was pretty wholesome. And then the I'm in love with Yamada Kun, I want to say, or Level 99. I forget what the full name is. That was cool because it was a combination of like an RPG with romance in the real world. That was good too, and I enjoyed that. But I love isekais. I'm a big isekai guy.
Yeah.
Um, they're just so colorful. They're just so colorful. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's just so colorful. But I digress. So that's that, and then obviously going beyond that. Um, yeah. So yeah, that's what I like. But I'm open to a romance recommendation if you got one.
Yeah, no. Go revisit Fruits Basket. Give it a real chance. Season 1, it gets slow. You're getting all these side stories of all the characters you don't give a shit about. Don't worry about that. It's still worth the watch. You just get through it, and then you're hooked. You're done. That's all you're doing for the next couple days.
I will try. I will try. That is all I will say. I will try.
Mhm.
Um, and that's all I can say on that point. And then finally, and you could plead the fifth at any point on this question. What merch do you want for yourself that could potentially be on the table that has not been granted at the moment?
Okay, what merch do I want? I mean, obviously, I already threw out the skateboard. Who God, that would be so cool. I want cool skateboard guys freaking skating on my titties out there. I crave this. Absolutely. And I want a little figurine. I want a little figurine where you can take my clothes off. So I can be a little naked lady on your bookshelf. I want that real bad. And can I talk about it? Let's just say I already have a stroker out there that I freaking love, and I'm so ready for a level up on it. hmm
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah,
Fair
those
enough.
are my biggest. Oh, maybe like an Ahegao shirt too. Yeah, just me. Yes, I crave it.
Well,
Yeah.
we didn't get taken off of YouTube. We didn't get taken off of Facebook. It's still up there, so that's a win on my column. Um,
Ay,
um, and that's all I have to say. But before we go and I'll let you get out of here, I do want to give you a chance to self promote yourself. So where can people find you, bother you, hit you up, follow you on social media, check you out when you're streaming, check out, hentai.com, all that fun stuff because you got a lot of stuff going on.
I'm gonna me above my little bubble. There we go. Haha, you can find me on Twitter and Reddit. Reddit's for the dirty stuff for perverts. Twitter's where you go for the updates. I know what you want. Both. So go follow me. Go check out all my cool stuff, all my links, my blurbs, my memes. Let's be friends. That's all I got for self promo. I'm new at this.
Well, I'm just gonna say it, and I'll say it again, that if you like something, you need to support it. And what that means is you have to follow people on social media. If they are streaming, whether it's on YouTube, Streamate, eventually on hentai.com, you need to support it there. You need to actually buy a membership, I think, to hentai.com. That's also support. And it doesn't just support Sasha, it supports a lot of other things as well. And that's the thing. And also, you need to, as I stated before, you need to actually follow people on social media if I didn't already mention that, because that means something. So when you follow somebody on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever it is, it goes a long way. And it's super important to do that. And economically support. So when merch comes, you should buy merch, everybody. It goes a long way and it means a lot. And then as far as I'm concerned about me, I am on Twitter at Pop Anime Comics. I am on Instagram at Pop Anime Comics. I'm on Facebook, Pop Anime Comics. Go support my friend Preston. He's sponsoring this episode and a few others. That helps me a lot because he's helping to make this show work. I also have Buy Me a Coffee if you so choose, as well as subscribe on YouTube. And there's an interview for you out there on my YouTube channel, everybody. So definitely, I think I have 500 interviews on YouTube. So there's an interview for you. I guarantee it. And if there isn't, I'm sorry. And on that note, I'm going to give you the final word.
If you can't find an interview in 500 interviews, the problem is not you, Andrew. It's them. But yeah, everything that guy said. If you love it, support it. That's all I got.
I could have said that any better myself, everybody. And that is a